Hey guys, this is Matt, and today we're talking about the technology I use to create videos for our clients, and it all starts with this first camera that I got, geez, like 10 years ago. So I'm gonna talk about each piece of technology all the way to the new camera that I use and this one right here. Okay, first of all, I wanna talk about the Canon T3i. So they've updated this camera. There's a T5, T6, and probably by the time you see this, probably a T7. So this camera, it has its downside. So if you're going on right now and looking on Amazon, if you're gonna purchase, I would probably go for the 5 because it's gonna have autofocus and some things like that. Honestly, I still kind of shoot with this camera. We do some other stuff, shoot some other stuff. It's kind of dangerous at times. Some things are blowing up on one of our other channel. So I typically will use this camera. I won't use the 70D that I'm talking to you now or the C100 that's behind me. I'll explain the steps up that I had in cameras, but it all started with this. I started building, and this is the stock lens that came with it, 18 by 135. I shot my entire first course on this, and I sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of it, and created a bunch of content and got millions of views. So hey, you know, what's to say? You could use even an iPhone, you know, to create content and so forth. So, okay, so other cameras that I use is this one right here. Let me flip on a couple more lights, see if this, yeah, it gives us a little bit more light. This is the Canon C100, and I have this lens that I bought along with it. This lens is fantastic, it's crystal clear. This is the lens that came with it. This one right here, the 24 by 105. And what I found was this one is more clear, and I use it mostly to shoot on the whiteboard. So I have my whiteboard here, and I do a lot of different video and so forth for clients. So yeah, I definitely recommend, say, the T5i model. I think the T5i is like $600. I just looked it up on Amazon, about 600 bucks. And what I recommend this for is it's great for pictures. It's also great for taking some video, at least internet video. Listen, it doesn't need to be 4K. It doesn't need to be the most high quality video. The reason why I got the C100 was because I wanted to do whiteboard videos. I wanted to have it directly connect into my webinar software that then I would be able to do these, you know, live calls and live broadcasts with my people. So typically getting started, you're not gonna need that sort of crazy complicated stuff. When you get to the point that you have tens of thousands of people that you're training on these webinars, then yeah, you might wanna start upgrading. At that point, you might be able to afford I'm pretty sure I spent like $6,000 or $8,000 on that camera. So yeah, it's super expensive. I wouldn't really worry about the difference between that and that because it's super different. Now this camera I'm talking to you on now is my 70D. I like this camera because it has good feel, kind of like the T, you know, 5i, T3i, whatever. It has a good feel, but then on the other side, it's like you can take it with you and you're not carrying around a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 camera. I think I spent like $1,600 on this with the lens and with everything that I have. I think about $1,600 when it was all said and done. So yeah, it was a little bit more money, probably about $1,000 more than this camera as you would pick up the T5i. And I definitely recommend that. You can get it with the, you know, standard lens stock that comes on it. Right now, the lens I'm talking to you on is a Canon 10 to 18. So this is a wide angle, like super wide angle, which is really cool. Or you can zoom in a little bit. So I'm about half zoomed in. Or you can just get the standard 18 to 55 that comes with it. Or I got the 18 to 135, which was awesome. The next lens that I recommend, I love this 24 millimeter lens. Look at how thin this is. So when I take this lens, I'll go out, I shot, when we went around Italy and, you know, shooting videos around Italy, it was so light. I put that on this camera and I took it around everywhere, really, because this lens is only about 100 bucks. The camera is only about 600 bucks. So if I lose the whole thing or it gets stolen or something like that, we're only talking about 700 bucks out the door. I know some of you might be thinking like, hey, that's a lot of money, but when you're comparing that to a 6,000 or an 8,000, or, you know, some of the lenses I have are like over $1,000. So when you compare it to that, it's really not that big of a deal. So definitely I recommend grabbing this lens. It'll give, you know, just give you an idea. This camera is, say, about 3 feet away from me, and that's 18. So you can think a little bit closer at about 3 feet is about that. So it's a pretty good bust if you're really super close. As for far away, you can get a pretty nice view of everything, but it is a fixed lens. So you're not gonna be able to zoom in. And then the next one that I liked was the 50, people call it the Nifty 50. It's an awesome lens by Canon, and still pretty compact, and it was about $125, something like that. And again, it's a 50 millimeter, so it doesn't zoom. So think about this, this is 24, so it's, you know, about this distance, you know, give or take about 3 feet, about, you know, you see about this much. And then this one is twice as close. So I'm not gonna get that close up to I'm not gonna get that close up to the lens. But if things are a little bit further away, you'll be able to shoot with that. But honestly, if you're in a room and let's say the room is only about 15 feet long and you're trying to shoot with that and trying to shoot you, it's gonna be a pretty tight shot. You're not gonna see much. So it's not gonna give you this nice bust shot. So I recommend this if you're shooting some stuff that's a little bit further away. And then from there, I mean, you can grab some of these other lenses. This lens I picked up, the 10 by 18. I'll link below this to the lenses. It wasn't that bad. I think it was like $300. And then a couple of the other lenses I have are like $600, $800, $1,000. I don't have any like cinema type lenses. I don't have any of the $2,000 lenses yet, but eventually I'll probably get there where I start shooting more artistic stuff. But for now, web videos, the stuff we're doing, that's absolutely perfect. You'll be able to get away with that. All right, let's talk microphones. So I have the Yeti mic. I started with the Yeti. I started a podcast with this, and my podcast was a top 10 business podcast back a couple years ago when I put it together. But back then I had no idea really what I was doing because I didn't really have my course for sale. I didn't have those things done yet. Everything just took forever to get online, it seemed like. I don't know why. Like, I felt like I was just always making excuses. But when I did put my podcast on, I used this mic. The only downside to this mic that I don't like is when it's like resting on a table, and if you bump the table, like, it sounds like an earthquake. It sounds like, you know, the world is coming to an end. It's extremely loud. The mic that I'm talking to you on now, I'll link down below, and it's about 200 bucks, and it connects right into the camera. So I just keep everything on board. I don't have to take the video and take the audio and put them together anymore. So that's something that was definitely taking a lot of time. So I like having the onboard microphone. It is a little roomy, so you might hear a little bit of echo. I'm getting some more artwork to put up on the walls that should dampen the sound a little bit more, and getting a new rug for here. But that said, it is a little echoey. That's perfectly fine. It's a great mic to, and it's compact too. I can, you know, get everything into my carry backpack and we can get out on the go. One, it's a heel mic, and it's on this boom stand thing here, if you can see this. It's a pretty awesome microphone, and the thing is with this, you're gonna have to plug it into, I have my thing down here. So what this thing does is it's an input. It's a little dusty. It's an input, so I can input two microphones, and then I have my input volumes, and it's got a little headphone out, but I just run it as a USB on, I actually have one here and one upstairs. Upstairs in the other office, it's where I have like music stuff that I do, all my music stuff up there, but that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, I have two of these. The one upstairs, I actually use the line output. So these line outputs goes to monitors, and then I can, you know, monitor the sound coming right through the box. But for this, you can just run the USB, and then you can just use your speakers, like these speakers that I run here. Actually, you can see that one over there. It's perfectly fine, just a computer speaker, so that works out just well. This is a lav mic, so I connect this up onto my shirt, and that's how I do my videos. So this just goes onto my shirt, and it's connected right up in here. So I just keep this right up here. There we go. So I just keep that right up there. So when I'm doing my videos on the whiteboard, I can just go ahead and hit that button, and we are good to go. So that basically concludes the microphones. One more that I have is a Zoom recorder. So I used to do things on my Zoom recorder, and then again, you know, merge the audio and the video later. and it's just really annoying. It just takes up too much time. So I just keep everything just right on board with this microphone up here. Okay, so as for drones, I have a Phantom Pro. This is the Phantom 3 Pro, and I've been using this for a couple years now. Flown it into a couple of trees. It's been standing up pretty well, but the camera isn't working right now. So I actually just bought a Mavic Air. I'll do a full review of that when that comes in. Look how big this thing is. Like, so I have this whole massive box here, right? I don't want to travel with this thing. It's just, I mean, it would be incredible to try to travel with this thing. So I got the new Mavic Air, so that should be coming in any day now. Like literally, I bought it 2 weeks ago, and it should be here. I want to do a full review of that because I definitely want to travel with it as we're doing a lot more travel and so forth. But yeah, so this is the Phantom Pro. I've been flying this for a while, and it works out pretty well, but I don't know. Like, it's just massive, absolutely massive. Next thing while I'm over here is the Ronin stabilizer. So I just keep all this stuff over underneath the desk here. So this is a stabilizer. I will put this camera on here, and I'll link to it so you can see it. I'm definitely not going to build it right now and show you what it looks like, but it's awesome. It makes all your footage very seamless and steady, and you know, you can walk with the footage, and you know, it pans automatically. It can pan up and down. It's just extremely nice. So if you're doing like walking scenes, like I'm not doing any walking scenes right now, but if I'm filming somebody doing like a walking scene, I can definitely use that. Again, probably totally overkill for 99.9% of you, but those of you that really want to step up your video, it's awesome. The only thing is about it is it's a really good arm workout. So after about 30 minutes of holding the thing and letting it do its thing, you got to set the thing down because it's totally heavy, and it absolutely sucks. So we will going upstairs into the abyss to show you what the ridiculousness is in these rooms. So, man, it's hot in here. So this is the black screen room. I have black, I'll link to the screen that we have. I have black, I have white, and I have green. Most of them are right there. And then I also have other lights, like the ring light. I don't like this one as it's really bright, but another thing that we use quite often is, oh, and also these tripods are amazing. Like super, super strong. But the teleprompter, I'll link to that as well. It will take your iPad right there. And when I started doing my videos, I was very, very uncomfortable with saying things on camera and having conversations on camera. So when I was getting started, I wrote out every single thing that I said. Like, it literally, every single word that I said was written out. And I put it onto this thing, and I put my iPad on there. The camera sits behind it, if you can see this. The camera, see this over here? Camera sits behind it, and then that goes over the camera, and then your iPad is right here, and all the words will come up on that piece of glass. So I was really nervous about saying things. I always used to, I don't know, say the wrong thing. So what I did was I started writing out every single thing that I was going to say. So my first couple of videos are scripted, and I was reading off a teleprompter. It took me forever to do that, and forever to put them together, and forever to be happy with it. So I don't do that anymore, and that's probably why the teleprompter sits up here, and I don't use it. Another cool thing is the white box that I have. So I'm able to take pictures of products inside of a white box for websites. I need to take that downstairs because I really need to use that today. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I used to keep a screen down here in this office. It just drove me crazy. So I stopped using it and I put it up into that extra room. But yeah, like why would I need to use a screen like that? Why would you need a black screen? I have no idea. I used to use it all the time, but now I use it absolutely no time. So yeah, I have no idea why you would need that. Along with a lot of the other, I have no idea why you'd need that, along with a lot of the other things that I could show you. Serve no purpose. No purpose. A tripod, this camera, and like a decent microphone, and you're good to go with getting started recording video. You don't need to buy all the ridiculous stuff that I have. Because let me tell you something, the more equipment that you buy, like the footage isn't gonna shoot itself. I kept just buying stuff just because I could, buying and buying and buying, but the footage, like recording, you actually have to sit down and hit record. So now I just have a bunch of equipment that just sits there, and I kind of know some other people that are like that as well, that they just buy things and they don't actually do the work and put it together, and they just want to buy things and then just automatically just think it's going to create content. That's not how it works. So spend less, make more content, earn some money, reinvest, grow whatever it is that you want to do. And I would start from there with something much cheaper instead of doing what I've done and continuously buy more expensive stuff. Then to finish this off, hardware, iMac, 27-inch 5K iMac, and I do a lot of the stuff on my MacBook Pro as well. So typically I'll use this for all my video, all the video, audio, and all that stuff that I do there. And then I'll use this for, you know, building pages and stuff like that. Every once in a while I'll use this for doing some of the other stuff, but I usually just use the iMac for the video. So that's my video computer. And then I have the MacBook Pro that I use for building pages and putting stuff together. So that's it. In the next video, we'll do one and I'll talk all about the software that we use. But this is the video going over each piece of the technology that we use in terms of the hardware, so people can, you know, get things up and running, purchase, you know, make good purchases, get things up. Also, I'm going to do some more in-depth reviews of each and every piece and new pieces that we buy going forward. So that's something that we're definitely making a dedication for, is to show you some of the new tech that's out there, how you can use it and how you can benefit from that. But for now, I would definitely recommend inexpensive. I like Canon, but you can go with Nikon, you can go with Sony. There's so many different platforms that you can work on. I'm definitely just a Canon guy, so that's what I shoot with. Everything is Canon. All right, thank you guys so much for watching my hardware review video.